Minister, across the country, there is no national standard to address the homelessness crisis amidst the pandemic, leaving communities at heightened risk for COVID-19. Canadians who are homeless or living in substandard housing have no access to bathroom facilities for basic hygiene. Those living in crowded SROs and shelters cannot practice social distancing. The problem is particularly acute in my riding in the downtown east side. While the BC government has implemented an initiative to house some of the homeless population in empty hotels in the short term, support from the federal government is needed to secure permanent solutions post-COVID-19. Will the Prime Minister commit to providing matching funds and take the right to adequate housing seriously?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I know the honourable member wouldn't want to have inadvertently misled the House. The fact is, the federal government almost immediately sent significant hundreds of millions of dollars of resources to shelters across the country to enable them to create facilities, including renting new spaces, to be able to house people who are homeless without increasing the danger of the spread of COVID-19. I recognize there's always more to do, but as we demonstrated with our national housing strategy, we are serious about fighting homelessness and supporting vulnerable Canadians, and we will continue to.
Ms. Kwan.
The Prime Minister must know that the money that the federal government sent is deficient. Many people still remain homeless and they are at risk. Cutting chronic homelessness by 50% over the next decade is not good enough. And that is this Prime Minister's national housing strategy. Will the government stop just making empty promises and ensure every Canadian has the right to housing? And will he top up the support for provinces to at least matching their funds?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, cutting chronic homelessness by 50% is an ambitious goal that no one else has ever been able to do as a government, and we are well on track for it. And I would suggest that the member opposite not dismiss that as empty promises, because we have demonstrated the actions on it. But I recognize there is more to do. There is always more to do. And we will be there, continue to be there for vulnerable people, including homeless Canadians.
Well, Ms. Kwan.
I would remind the Prime Minister it was the federal Liberals who actually eliminated the National Affordable Housing Program in 1993. And so we have this homeless crisis today as a result of the Liberals. We in Vancouver East have the third largest urban Indigenous population in the country, yet we got less than 2% of the pandemic urban Indigenous housing funding. They're overrepresented amongst the homeless population. Why?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we recognize there is more to do on supporting urban Indigenous peoples. We have moved forward both through the Minister of Indigenous Services and the Minister of Crown Indigenous Relationship to address the challenges facing urban Aboriginal populations. We will continue to work with them to recognize that these are amongst the most vulnerable people in Canada who deserve the right support from all orders of government, and we will be there to support them increasingly over the coming